Good afternoon and welcome to Riviera, Texas. This is where I hide from the snow in Missouri. I had a lot of friends ask me when I took off on the road, just how did this happen? Why did you decide to do that? And can you make any money? Can you stay alive? Are you going to enjoy it? Well, yes, yes, yes. I'll give you an idea of how I started. I know other people are going to have other ideas, some better ideas, some worse ideas. And if you do, please put them in the comments below. But this all started many, many years ago. I was a tent camper from my Cub Scout days, basically, and I've camped all over the United States. And I really enjoyed the outdoors. I loved being outdoors. I loved listening to the crickets at night, watching the moon, the stars, cooking over a campfire. You know, once you get used to it, you just can't beat it. But anyway, one place that I'd camped several times, and it's a county campsite in Jackson County, Missouri. I talked to the campground host out there several times, and we got to be pretty good friends. We had similar backgrounds. I'm a retired Kansas City officer, and he's a retired sheriff's deputy from somewhere, I believe it was Iowa. I don't remember now, but he and his wife used to come by the campsite, and we'd share good times and good stories. And he kept telling me, this is what you're going to do when you retire. I said, no, that ain't going to be for me. Well, the day came in January last year that I decided, you know, I'd been in the law enforcement and security business for 50 years, and it's time. So I was single, divorced, kids were grown and out of the house. I owned a 6-bedroom house and lived there with 2 cats. I couldn't see that going on for too much longer, so I sold my house. I gave all my possessions away, sold some, gave some to the kids. Whatever they wanted, they could take. That's your inheritance, kids. Dad's going on the road. I bought a 25-foot RV. And I said, that's it. I'm going. I'm out of here. So I threw in a few ads in a local paper and a couple of them in a magazine called Work Camper News for campground host jobs. Just like John and Janet told me, that's what you're going to do. Well, I actually got a good hit from Mark Twain Lake, and they wanted to know if I would come up there and spend the summer with them. I said, sure, I'd be glad to. I'll try it. So this was my first experience with work camping. I was contracted for 6 months up there and working security at the gate for a while, and then after a while, when things slowed down at the campsite, I went into maintenance. And basically what I was doing was working for a period of time, and some people say 2 days, some people say 3 days, and that was for my campsite, for a place to park my trailer and all my lights, gas and electricity and cable TV and Wi-Fi and all of that. That's all free. After it was for 2 days for me every week, and then I got a paycheck every week. The work wasn't hard. Before the campsite opened, we did a lot of maintenance down there. We actually built a shower house and restroom. And believe me, this was not professional labor. We did have a couple of retired people up there who is retired professionals. And they kind of gave the rest of us a guide. And we built a lot of things. We repaired a lot of cabins, and we got the place ready to go in pretty short order and had fun doing it. Work camping is not that hard. because everybody that does it is pretty much retired. And so everybody works at their own pace. If you don't get the job done today, they're not going to fine you. They're not going to dock you. You're just going to go back tomorrow until you get it done. And everybody knows that. It's no big push. So that's kind of what work camping is about. Now, can you make a living at it? Yes, you can make a decent living if it's not your only income. Now, I have, of course, my police pension, and I have my Social Security to support me. Living out there, I had no bills except for what propane that I used, and we get that at cost. Usually at most campgrounds they'll do that for you, and your food and your insurance, and of course if you don't already own a RV, then you have the note on that, but it's not that much. You bring in about, I'm going to say, somewhere in the vicinity of $1,000 a month. No, you can't live on that. You cannot live on a work camper's wage. But with retirement income, yes, you can have a pretty good time. You get to see a lot. So people say, do you get lonely out there? No, I don't. Because there are plenty of people at the campground, and you have more fun than you'd ever believe. You meet more people from all over the world. I've met people from the Philippines. I've met people from Japan. I've met people from China, Thailand, and of course here in the United States from all over. And everybody is doing exactly what they want to do. They want to have fun. So those are a few things to get started. People say, how do you find a job? Well, there are plenty of ways. You can either go by some of the campgrounds and talk to the campground hosts. They'll tell you how to get into it. You can write to the Army Corps of Engineers. They have plenty of sites that you can go to. Or there are several magazines. I mentioned before Work Camper News. There's also Workers on Wheels, and they have a website. Both actually have a website. There's a bunch of them all over. A lot of times if you go on a particular campground site that you like, or RV site, or whatever that you like and you've been there before and you'd like to work there, you can write them, call them, and ask them if they need help. Sometimes if you just show up late in the season, especially when it gets around June or July, there are people that do decide to leave for one reason or another. So you might be able to walk right into that one. But anyway, there's plenty of ways to get started. Or ask a work camper. But anyway, I'll be talking a little bit more about this in other videos, and if you have questions, please leave them below and I'll try to answer them as best I can. In the meantime, you have a great day and come back and see me.